Okay, friends, today we're going to begin our session 2 of the lesson 9 that we started yesterday. So, we're going to start here on our try it problem. This is on page 217. I'm going to move my book up so you can kind of see it a little bit better. 217. It says, Todd plays a game. The table shows his points. How many points does Todd get in level 1? So level 1, I'm going to look at my chart. Do we have any points here? No, that's our mystery number. We know in level 2 he reaches 16 points. And we know he reaches a total, our big number of 55. So we have 55 points as our total. So we have our whole, we have a part, and we're missing our other part. So that's what we need to solve. So we can do this a bunch of different ways. I'm going to use that model that we were kind of learning about yesterday. And remember that model that we use number bonds. If you want to do this type of model. So if we kind of fill in a blank here, we need to figure out where the numbers go in here. So when we have a total, it says total right there, total of 55 points. That's our big number. Where does our big number go? Our big number goes up top. We know that we can't get any larger than this number, right? So I put my 55 up top. I know that two numbers can equal 55. I have one of them. I have 16, which equals one of those. So I have 16 right here. And then we have my mystery number over here. So I have to solve that other part of my number bond problem. So I can now start off with a number sentence. So let's say I want to do a subtraction problem. Well, in a subtraction problem, what number do I start with? My largest or my smallest? In a subtraction problem, I start with my largest. My largest. So I'm going to do 55 minus 16 equals that mystery number. I can solve it that way. Let's say I'm not super confident with my subtraction, or maybe I just like my addition. I have to write it correctly in my addition. Can I do 55 plus 16? Can I do that one? No, I cannot do that. I can't just add these two numbers together. I can't just add them together, because if I add these two numbers together, I'm going to get an even bigger number. I can't go bigger than 55. So that tells me that I have to start with my smaller number. I have to add another number to it to get 55. So those are your two options that you can do. You can do subtraction or you can do addition. So if I want that subtraction strategy, if you want to pause this to solve it first and then check, you are more than willing to do that. Or if you just want to follow along with me, you can as well. So I'm going to stack this strategy. I'm going to start with my 1, so 5 minus 6. More on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow some more. 6 is a bigger number than 5, so I have more on the floor. So I'm going to go next door. And I'm going to cross off 5 and I'm going to put 4 because I'm taking a 10 away. If I take a 10 away, I'm moving that 10 over to my 1, so I have enough that is on top. So now I have 15 minus 6. Well, if I count up from 6 and stop at 15, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it takes me 9 fingers to get to 15. So 15 minus 6 equals 9. 4 minus 1 equals 3. So there's one way I can solve it. Maybe I want to solve it with an addition strategy. On my number line, I always start with my smaller number and I end with my larger number. We have to find out the jump it takes to get to 55, right? I have to find out how many jumps. So the nearest 10 I have to 16, the closest 10 I have going up is 20. So I'm going to make a jump to 20. I know 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. It took me 4 jumps. Our goal is to always get to a 10 to make it easier for us to solve. So now that I have 10, I'm going to jump to see how close I can get to 55. Remember, I can't go over 55. So 20, 30, 40, 50. I'm going to stop there because if I go up to 60, that's bigger than 55. So it took me 3 jumps to get to 50. 3 jumps of 10, which is 30. And then I have one last jump to make, 50 to 55. I know that's 5 jumps. So now I'm going to add all my jumps together. I have 30 plus 5 and 4. So I have 5 plus 4 equals 9. 3 plus 0 equals 3. I get 39 both ways. Our biggest problem that we are going, or our biggest challenge that we're going to have, friends, is setting up these problems correctly. That's the reason why every single time I say, if we're doing a subtraction problem, where does my biggest number go? At the front. In my addition problem, where does my biggest number go? At the end. If I put my number up here, that means I'm going to get an even bigger number over here. And we know based on our problem, we have a total of 55, so it can't go bigger than 55. So that's our biggest challenge. So if you need to pause this before I go on, you can do so. And then when you're ready, turn the page. All right, I'm going to look at my next page, okay? So this one, friends, is where we kind of just look at all the work we just did and we're going to answer some questions. So we're working with our same number. Our same problem, our mystery number for level 1. We know level 2, we scored 16 points, but we have a total of 55 points. So we're just going to talk through these different strategies. You can picture it. That looks really similar to our number bond model, right? Where we did this. And friends, you do not have to write this. I'm just doing this to kind of show you. It looks pretty similar, right? The only difference is they just kind of make this little squiggly thing up here. These are the same thing. They're just showing you 2 different types of models to do. It said you can use an addition equation. Well, that's something that we did. Our addition equation was 16 plus our mystery number equals 35 or equals 55. Is it the same? Yeah. These are the same type of problem. Even though we started with 16 and they started with our mystery number, they're the same because we know with fact families, if you're using an addition strategy, it doesn't matter which one comes first. As long as our 2 smaller numbers are at the beginning and our largest numbers at the end, we're good to go. They also did our subtraction strategy. They started with our largest number, subtracted our smaller number, and got another number. So on this page, friends, we don't have to do anything. We're just talking through the different strategies that we used. So now we're going to connect it all. So if you go to our next page of connect it. So connect it. It says, look at the second model it. So that would be this one right here. The second model it. This is the second model it. Model it 1, model it 2. So we're going to look at this bottom one over here, okay? Look at the second model it. Write a different subtraction equation that you could use to solve the problem. All right. Well, I'm going to write the equation that they used over here just so I don't have to keep swapping back and forth between pages. So they did 55 minus 16. I'm just going to write theirs over here. They did 55 minus 16 equals our mystery number. They want us to write a different type of subtraction problem. How do we do that? If we're writing a different type of subtraction problem, we still need the same 2 numbers. I know with fact families, I have to start with my largest number for subtraction. So no matter what, this 55 has to go here. As long as my largest number's at the beginning, it doesn't matter the order of these 2 numbers because in fact families, they're the same. So our first one, we did 16 first. So another way to write it would be to do our mystery number first, right? These 2 are the exact same problem. They're just showing that we can switch these 2 around. As long as my biggest number is up front, it is good to go. It says, show how to solve the problem from the previous page on an open number line, then write your answer. So this is our original problem of starting with 16, because 16 was our smallest number, and 55 was our bigger number. Friends, we're just doing the exact same problem that we got from over here. So that's where my 16 and 55 came from. My 16 is my lowest, my 55 is my largest. We did this on the try it page earlier. They just want us to write it out again. So for 16, our closest 10 is what number going up? Our closest 10, if I do 10, it's going down. My next 10 is 20. Oh, that's pretty close. So I'm going to do 20. It took me how many jumps to get to 20? 4 jumps. Now from 20, I'm going to see how close I can get to 55. So 20, 30, 40, 50. I can't go any more because I'd be going, if I went 60, it'd be going over 55. So I'm going to stop at 50. And it took me 3 tens. 3 tens is the same thing as saying 30. 3 tens. And then I just have to make one final jump from 50 to 55. And that is 5. My very last step, I cannot forget my last step. I have to add my 3 numbers together. I need to see how many jumps total it took. So I have 30 plus 5 plus 4. 5 plus 4 equals 9. 3 plus 0 equals 3. So Todd gets 39 points in level 1. Remember, now that we're working with word problems, we're not just solving. Yes, we have 39, but what does 39 represent? 39 represents how many points Todd scored in level 1. Remember, we're still solving level 1. How many points he solved? Well, he got 39 points in level 1. Remember, friends, if you need to pause, you can definitely take a second and write this down. I'm going to keep moving on, okay? How did you make your number line in problem 2? What is another way to find your answer? Well, how do we make our number line? We start with our smallest number. And jump to our largest number. So right here, friends, it's just asking us, how did you set this up? Well, you guys normally get a little bit confused when it comes to writing it out. All they're asking for is when you write it out, you're just telling me what you would say if I asked you to explain it. So how do we get this answer? Well, we're going to start with our smallest number and jump to our largest number. So I just wrote what I said. And then what is another way you can find the answer? Well, we found that, yes, we can jump to our nearest 10, but we can also jump by tens first. So I'm going to add to it, we can jump by tens first. All right, this bottom problem. If you need to pause, go ahead and pause. This bottom problem, it says reflect. Look back at your try it. So the problem we did and the different strategies. You're just going to tell me your favorite strategy. Do you like drawing the model, like the picture it over here? You like doing that? Do you like using your addition equation, or do you like using your subtraction equation? So you're going to say, I like blank because, tell me why. Because blank. All right? We're going to do these two problems, or these three problems for our practice. And then we are going to do some independent work. Okay, so number 5. Matt has 72 sports cards. I'm going to circle 72. Then he buys more cards. Now he has 90 cards. How many more cards does Matt buy? So, we started off with 72 cards, right? Started off with 72 cards. He buys more. So when you buy more of something, you're getting more of it, right? We're buying more. Do we know how many he bought more? No. So I'm going to kind of do my question mark. We started with 72. He bought more. And now he ends with a total of 90 cards. So we can solve it this way. If we solve it that way, we can start with 72 and jump to 90. So 72. Let's jump by 10. 72, 82. I can't go to 92 because that'll be bigger than 90. So I can make one jump to 82, and that would be jumping by 10. The nearest 10 would be 90, right? So I'm just going to make another jump, 82 to 90. So let's go 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90. It took 80. So my last step, how many jumps? 10 plus 8 equals 18. So you can solve it this way. All we did is we jumped by 10s first. We can only do one jump of 10. And then we did 82 and we jumped to 90. If you want to make this one smaller and jump to 85 first and then jump to 90, you can do that as well. You're still going to get that same answer. Maybe you don't want to work with this addition strategy. Maybe you're like, yeah, I don't like this jumping and drawing this number line. I don't like it. So maybe you want to do a subtraction problem. So with a subtraction problem, you always start with your largest number. So my largest number is 90 minus 72. I'm going to take away. And I have my mystery number. So if I stack it, 90 minus 72, more on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow some more. So I have more on the floor. I'm going to go next door. My 9 becomes an 8. I'm going to take that 10 over here. I have 10 minus 2. That equals 8. 8 minus 7 equals 1. I get 18. All right, Neve has some flowers. Then she picks 18 more flowers. Now she has 43 flowers. How many flowers does Neve have at the start? Show your work. So friends, I'm going to give you guys, I want you to pause this video now and try and solve it by yourself. So go ahead and pause. Okay, now that you've had a chance to work through it on your own, I want to go through. So it starts, Neve has some flowers. Do we know how many she starts with? Nope, it just says some. So I'm actually starting with my mystery number. She says, then she picks 18 more flowers. 18 more. So if I pick 18 more, I'm adding 18. And it says now she has 43. So now I'm ending with 43, right? How many flowers does Neve have at the start? That's what we're solving for, that mystery number. So I can do this a bunch of different ways. I can do my number line again. 18 to 43. Let's see how many jumps. How many 10? What's my nearest 10? My nearest 10 is 20. That would be 2 jumps. 20, 30, 40. I can't go past 43 though. Can't go to 50. So I'm just going to say 2 jumps of 10, which would be 20, and we would get to 40. And then my last jump, 40 to 43, which is 3. So I have 20 plus 3 plus 2. That equals 25. Or I can just do take my largest number, which is 43, minus it by 18, because as long as I start with my largest number, I can subtract my next number. More on top, don't stop. More on the floor, go next door and borrow some more. So I am going to go next door because 8's bigger. My 4 becomes a 3. I take that 10 over here. 13 minus 8. I'm going to lock in 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then 3 minus 1 equals 2. So you get 25 both ways. Depends on which one you solved it. All right, very last one, and then you guys are going to do some iReady work for me, okay? Sherry has a new camera. She takes 27 pictures on Monday. She takes 35 pictures on Tuesday. Which equation would you use to solve how many pictures Sherry takes on the 2 days? So we know, I'm going to say Monday. M stands for Monday, okay? Monday, how many pictures did she take? She took 27. Okay? We know Tuesday, she takes 35. So T for Tuesday equals 35. I just wrote that off to the side just so I could remember it. We need to see how many photos she takes in all. So we're going to go through each one and say, can we use these equations? Can I do 27 plus 35 to get how many photos she takes in all? I have 27, I have 35. If I add them together, could I get my mystery number? Yeah, that one would work. What about if I had 35 and I took away 27? Am I going to find out how many pictures she has in all together? No, that would be finding the difference. I'm trying to figure out how many in all. What about if we did 35 plus 27? This one was 27 plus 35. What about if I switched those numbers? Could I still do it? Yeah. We know with fact family, as long as our largest number is at the end, which is our mystery number, it doesn't matter the order of these two. What about this one? Our mystery number minus 35 equals 27. Well, we know when we subtract, we have to have our largest number at the beginning. Is our largest number at the beginning? Yes, our largest number would be at the beginning. Now, friends, this might be a little confusing because you're like, Miss Luby, how do we know it's the largest number? It's a question mark. Well, we know it's the largest number based off of our problem that we did up here. If I add 27 and I add 35 more, I know I'm going to get an even larger number here. So I'm trusting that this mystery number is a large number. So when I rewrite it, I know that my mystery number is still that large number and it has to be at the beginning. So for this one, 35 minus our large number. Well, what we just talked about, we have to have that large number at the beginning. These two cannot switch when we are working with subtraction. It has to start with our largest number. And our largest number is our question mark, right, friends? So that one is a no. Nice work today. What I would like you guys to do, I would like you guys to spend the remainder of the time on iReady. So it's been about 25 minutes. So I want you to do about, I'll say 10 minutes on iReady and call it good for today. Good luck, friends.